Step one, texturizing the ends. I say step one, we're gonna start assuming the hair is clean. So in some cases, step one might be clean the client's hair, but with this type of link extension, it's not as important that you clarify like most other extensions. As long as the client comes in with fairly clean hair, some might even argue that dirty hair will stay in better when that link is pressed in. I still like to start with clean hair because oily hair would not be a good thing. The link could slide down. But step one, in most cases, is going to be texturizing the ends. So we're taking out those ends and kind of breaking them up a little bit. It's more important on short hair like this because as the extensions go in, this short hair will show through and show a little bit of a line of demarcation or a weight line or whatever you guys call it out there. I think a weight line would be the most common name. And we want it to look a little bit more like this. If we take the line away first, it won't be so difficult to remove it later. Step two, part the hair off for the wefts. In some cases, you're just putting one 12-inch wide weft in. Keep in mind they come in single, plus density, and double density. So if you're just thickening hair, you might just be putting one in, and it wouldn't matter how high or low necessarily, as long as it doesn't show near the part, doesn't show when a person pulls their hair up underneath. But we're going to be putting two to add length and thickness on her hair today. And as we're parting the hair off, we've already got the first part parted off up in here so that when we drop the hair, that second one, which will be on top, will go in a little faster and easier. But when we parted off this bottom section, in my opinion, this is a little too close to the ear. So I wanted to show you guys before we repart it. When we put this weft in, it's going to go in about like this. And we're going to be so close to the ear, after just maybe a week or two of grow out, it's going to start to touch the ear. We're expecting this to last about 2 months, maybe 3 months in some cases. So we're going to raise this part just a little bit and then get back with you in just a minute. So I brought 2 packs of hair here so you can see the differences in some of the differences in length, color, texture, and obviously there are 2 different lengths here. And it says it right here, but we also put centimeters because it's a worldwide company, but you know, most of us in the US are gonna deal with inches. So we have a 14-inch hair here, 18-inch hair here, but let's start at the top. Beaded weft, double density, single plus density. Today on the models, we're gonna be using a little bit of both, and maybe you can kind of see it, but the double density is, if it was 100% the amount of hair that's in a weft, the single plus would be 60%. So it's just a little more than half. And then we go into this next measurement that's the same on both of them. It says 12 inches. All of our wefts come in a 12-inch wide, which fits around most people's heads. The coolest thing about this hair is you can cut it anywhere you need. If you find it's a little long and you need to take a little off, that's fine also. If it's a little short and you need to use another weft to cut some small sections, you can do that also, and we will later. So let's just go ahead and open up a pack. The color here also, we've got 1B here, and then on this one, color 617, one of our lightest blondes in the longer length. We have a length that is a little shorter than this, 10-inch, and then we also have 22-inch. I just brought the 2 middle lengths out for right now. We're gonna be using this on one of our models today, so I thought we would open it right in front of you guys so you can get an idea of what it looks like as it opens. Sometimes in packaging, this is taped down and it'll give you a little trouble pulling out, but if you pull that up like that, it'll slide right out of the plastic. And then it doesn't really matter how nice and neat you do all of this, but it slips right out. Some people want to undo the cardboard, not necessary. Comes with some instructions, directions for the client to kind of know how to take care of their hair. So you can kind of hand that to a client as they're getting their extensions done. You can read that if you like, and that'll sometimes help them ask the appropriate questions. Oh, I shouldn't wash my hair the first day or 24 hours, which is nice. And then this sometimes will slide right out of there. If it doesn't, you can open it nice and neat. You can tear it apart. I'm a little more aggressive and want to tear it apart. One little string here in the middle to pull. Usually it pulls. There we go, pulled right out. That releases it from the cardboard. And then there's 2 more here. I think it's the longer string that you pull. The shorter one kind of stays knotted. The longer string, it'll unknot like that. And it's just wrapped around a little piece of styrofoam. Still got some plastic here. 12 inches wide. One of my loops is sliding out just a little bit here. We'll just stick it right back in there. It already comes pre-looped like this. You can add, there's a couple of pockets in between. You can add more loops if you want it to be more secure on somebody with finer, thinner hair and you want to put more links or loops or rings or whatever you want to call it. Most people are calling them beads these days. Or if you have a thick, coarse-haired client that you feel like these links are going to stay in really well on, you can put less of them in there. Pull every other one out if you want to make it a little bit faster. Totally customizable to however you want to do it. Let's go put some hair in. Step 3, place the weft. So we're using Velcro strips to hold the hair, the little frizzies, flyaways up above, but we're also using them underneath to hold the hair. As we pull hair through the links, this will help comb or brush or keep the hair neat. So as we place this down with the links underneath, I want the wide part of these loops. You see how these loops are kind of fat at the bottom and then get skinny at the top? We want the fat part of that loop to be just under the part so that we can pull hair through each one of those. So while this is up like this, I'll take these Velcro strips and put them on the top pointy part of the loops. We call the red and the green plastic things loops, and then the rings, links, beads, we call them links or beads, and this will hold it there. So I usually start in the very back, kind of place it like this, wrap it around and see where it goes. In this case, I'm a little further from the front than I like, and also over here. So what I'll probably end up doing is putting some shorter pieces that I'll cut off of another weft, because you can customize these, cut them anywhere you want, they won't unravel. You can use them like little 1.5 inch tape-in sections that are secured in with these little links just the same with just 3 or 4. So what I'm gonna do is probably position this off to one side so we can get what we want here, because the trouble with extensions usually is people start a little too far back here and still have this short hair on the front. It looks like bangs growing out, and I want extensions as close to the front as forward, and that's kind of why we traveled up here so that we can bring it up further this way. So to me right now, the most important spot is going to be that side right there. So I'm going to bring it in as close as I can, about 2 fingers width here. And I'm going to have Callie come in and help me and put some Velcro across the top there. Sometimes just pressing it in like that will help hold it. And then as I'm following that part, just below that part, oh, I'm trying to turn it with my knee. There we go. And then one last little bit right here. And so then we'll finish it up with another short piece here a little bit later. So step 4, we're going to pull just a little bit of hair through like this, and then take the little crimping tool. What I found is if you just place your finger against the head here, usually this little stick will reveal itself. This one is not right now, obviously, but usually the curve of the head will make that stick stick out like that. Get just the white stick, pull the hair through the link and the pocket, and then with this first finger you can usually control and feel the bead in there. You don't necessarily have to see it. Slide it up, squeeze it, that's one. So we'll go ahead and Callie will finish up this client by pulling hair through all of these loops, sliding them and squeezing them. So we're going to customize a couple little pieces. We talked about being able to cut them 1.5 inches wide, 1 inch, whatever size strips you want. So our 12-inch strip didn't quite make it all the way around, so she's trying to figure out what she's going to do there. We already did the piece on the other side, so as she's doing that, I'm going to show you, this is what we customized for the other side. You can go ahead and do it. She cut that. Now what I always worry about is these corners being a little sharp. So she's going to come back and just nip the corner off of that so it'll be a little more comfortable on the client's head. There you go. So each little pocket is sewn together on the end right there. So I've decided that I want to finish this one off somewhere in this area. So I just don't want to cut over the threads here and make the pocket that this bead is in fall out. Now see, the sew line is right here. So I'm going to come halfway in the middle of this pocket and cut right here if I can. And then cut the corner off here just so it's a little more comfortable on the client's head. And I'll double check the other end, even though it's from the manufacturer. They usually soften this corner a little bit already, but what the heck, we're just gonna go ahead and soften it just a little bit more so it doesn't poke in the client's head. And that will be what we'll use to finish off right here. Hey guys, we just finished putting 2 full wefts in on her head today. We used 18-inch hair. We used 1 single density, single plus density, and 1 double density. I'm going to summarize just a little bit. We took the ends of her hair where it was kind of blunt, and she does have pretty short hair, and we texturized it so there wouldn't be a weight line or any trouble with the cut later. Of course, with short hair, it's going to show through just a little bit more, and the longer, the better for better blending. But this does blend pretty good. The color match was really good. When we put the parting in, we laid the weft, and then those little green or red loops, we took that little loop and pulled a little hair through with a tail comb. Then we took the white stick, pulled the hair through the loop in the weft and the link that we crimped in place with the reformer tool. So send her home with one of these brushes. It's an Onstage brush from us, or just any natural bristle, horse-haired bristle brush that'll brush through her hair without catching any of the wefts. You don't want to use a vent brush or a comb that might catch. So guys, order some hair and get started and do some hair extensions. Thanks for watching.